Hello everyone, welcome to a new episode of Explore and Engage with Anam. Democrats want undocumented immigrants to be housed on federal lands. Federal land is land that is owned by the United States federal government, and the government is for the American people. Then why do Democrats want undocumented immigrants to be housed on federal land? The land that belongs to the American people, the American citizens. 6 million foreign nationals have entered the United States by violating our nation's immigration laws since 2021. The left-wing politicians allowed this to happen. The Biden administration did not keep the border secure. And I am referring to the southern border, the U.S.-Mexico border. The undocumented immigrants made their way to the sanctuary cities like New York City and Chicago, as well as sanctuary state like California, as well as many other parts of the country. As more and more undocumented immigrants, as more and more foreign nationals came into the United States and became undocumented immigrants, because they came in illegally without any visa and without any authorization, they are spreading all over the United States. They are going to different states, different cities, and we see concentration of undocumented immigrants in places like New York and Chicago because those are sanctuary cities. Illinois is a sanctuary state, so is California. And so those are some favorite locations that undocumented immigrants like to go to for shelter, food, and other services. The left-wing elected officials in liberal cities are using taxpayer funds to provide housing, food, and other social services to the undocumented immigrants. And now, the Democrat politicians want to house migrants on federal lands using federal funds. Let me share with you something that you may already know. Not too long ago, 5 big city mayors asked the Biden administration for $5 billion. They asked for $5 billion from the federal government, from the Biden administration, to deal with the migrant surge. That's money that is American taxpayer money. When 5 big city mayors go to the Biden administration and ask for $5 billion, where will those $5 billion come from? From the pockets of American taxpayers. So these 5 big city mayors, including the mayors of New York City and Chicago, they want to use billions of American taxpayer dollars to provide housing and other services to the migrants. Federal land is our land. It's the American citizens' land. American taxpayers pay to maintain these lands. Now, why should undocumented immigrants be housed on federal lands? But that's what the Democrats want to do. They want American citizens to pay for housing, food, and a variety of services for the undocumented immigrants. Democrats want American citizens' tax dollars. They want federal lands so they can use our money and our land to house undocumented immigrants. The House of Representatives, which has a GOP majority, so the Republicans are the majority in the House. The House recently passed a bill to prevent federal funds from being used to house undocumented immigrants on federal lands. It's called the Protecting Our Communities from Failure to Secure the Border Act of 2023. This bill, if it is signed into law, would also cancel the lease at Floyd Bennett Field in New York. Floyd Bennett Field is being used to house undocumented immigrants. The Biden administration gave permission The Biden administration gave permission for migrants to be housed at Floyd Bennett Field in New York. And remember, some migrants refused to be housed there. When migrants were taken to Floyd Bennett Field by bus, some of the migrants said that they do not want to stay at Floyd Bennett Field. And do you know the reason why? Why some migrants refused to be housed at Floyd Bennett Field? Because Floyd Bennett Field is far from stores and schools and hospitals. It's isolated. It's kind of an isolated place. So some migrants refused to stay there. They just got back on the bus, and the bus turned around. So the migrants, the undocumented immigrants, are voicing their concerns and letting people know about their choices and preferences. What about the choices and preferences of the American citizens? When American citizens say that they do not want to pay for migrant housing, why are the citizens still being forced to pay for migrant housing and food? When American citizens ask for border security, when American citizens express that they want border security, why is the southern border still not secure? It seems that left-wing politicians do not care about the choices, preferences, and the wishes of the American people. Left-wing politicians do not care about what the American people want. Do you know how much money New York has spent to house and care for undocumented immigrants in fiscal year 2023? Make a guess. I'll let you make a guess. You come up with a number in your mind, and I'll give you the answer in a few seconds, okay? Come up with a number. Think about how much money the city of New York has spent to house and care for undocumented immigrants in fiscal year 2023. Think about a number, okay? Are you ready? I'm going to give you the answer now. Here's the answer, okay? New York City has spent approximately 1.45 billion with a B, 1.45 billion US dollars to house and care for the migrants in fiscal year 2023. That's just one fiscal year. 1.45 billion US dollars, taxpayer money. That's taxpayer money that the city of New York has spent to house and care for the migrants in one fiscal year. And guess what? The city estimates that it could spend $12 billion on asylum seekers over the next 3 fiscal years. $12 billion. Massive amount of money. That's taxpayer money. Can you believe that? So as I was saying, there's a bill that the House of Representatives passed to prevent the use of federal funds to house migrants on federal lands. So the House Republicans are saying that federal funds should not be used to house migrants on federal lands. And they passed a bill in the House. But with the Biden administration in power in the Oval Office and Democrats in control of the U.S. Senate, will this bill be signed into law? As long as Democrats are in power in the Senate and in the Oval Office, my guess would be no. We have a border crisis today because of the Biden administration's policies. Foreign nationals are able to come into our country illegally through the southern border because of Biden administration's policies. Our only opportunity to secure the southern border would be through the election of a new president, a conservative president, a president who prioritizes border security, a president who is willing to take the steps necessary to secure the southern border and to stop the influx of illegal immigrants. And that's why the 2024 presidential election is so important. The Republicans must work very hard to regain majority in the US Senate, while also keeping majority in the House. In fact, Republicans must work really hard to grow the size of the House majority. In 2024, the Republicans must work very, very hard to win more seats in the House, while also regaining majority in the Senate, while also winning the presidential election. We need a conservative president in the White House. Once there is GOP majority in both the House and the Senate, and once we have a Republican president, then we can truly work on securing the southern border. But the election is almost a year away. It's in November 2024, and as I'm recording this episode, this is December of 2023. So the presidential election is almost a year away, and the border is wide open, and more people, foreign nationals, are illegally crossing into our country. And the American people are seeing, they are seeing what's happening. The American people are struggling because of this crisis. Because American citizens are seeing their tax dollars being used to pay for housing and other services for the migrants. More and more taxpayer dollars. Each and every day, more and more dollars are being spent to provide services to the undocumented immigrants. My friends, share with me your thoughts. Go to tossifanam.net, that's my website. You can send me a message. You can sign up for my e-newsletter. You can also connect with me on social media. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram. So please connect with me on social media. And also, if you watch my YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is called Tossifanam, my first and last name. So check out my YouTube channel and please subscribe and share with me your thoughts. I want to hear from you. And thank you for continuing to listen to my podcast. I hope to be back again soon with a new episode of Explore and Engage with Anam.